Welcome to Cosmo Talks. I'm Petra. In this episode, we explore why adaptation is not willpower and how you can be a good host for your microorganisms. Because together, you form a fascinating ecosystem. And when the interaction is right, when the crosstalk functions optimally, you flourish. You resolve to live healthier, get up earlier, eat better, move more. The first days go well, then it gets harder, and eventually you fall back into old patterns. We call it a lack of willpower, discipline, perseverance. We blame ourselves. But what if the problem isn't your will? What if your biological systems aren't prepared for the change you're asking? What if adaptation is a capacity and yours at that moment was too low? Adaptation is a physiological process. It requires resources. When you try to establish a new habit, your brain must create new neural pathways. Your hormone balance must adjust. Your metabolism must work differently. Your microbiome must change along. All these adjustments cost energy. They compete with other processes that also need energy. Stress response, immune function, daily repair. If your system is already overloaded from chronic stress, poor sleep, inflammation, then there's little capacity left for adaptation. You try to change, but your body doesn't have the means to support the change. This explains why behavior change so often fails during periods of high stress. It's not that your will is weaker. It's that your adaptive capacity is already being used up. Your microbiome plays a role in this. It influences your energy management. It modulates your stress response. It produces neurotransmitters that influence motivation and reward. A disrupted microbiome can undermine adaptation, even with iron will. You can resolve to eat healthier, but if your microbiome stimulates craving patterns, you're fighting against your own biology. Studies show that microbiome composition predicts behavior change. People with more diverse microbiomes have more success with diet interventions, not because they're stronger, but because their systems can better support the change. At Cosmo Group, we learned this by looking at who succeeded at what. We saw people with identical intentions and totally different outcomes. Some maintained changes effortlessly. Others struggled and failed time after time. The difference wasn't in their motivation, that was comparably high. It was in their systems. Those who successfully changed often had more stable baseline markers, less inflammation, better sleep, more diverse microbiomes. Their systems had room to carry the adaptation. Those who failed were often already overloaded before they started. Their systems were too busy surviving to invest in transformation. A man who had quit smoking 3 times and relapsed 3 times illustrates this. His willpower was evident. He kept trying again, but his system was chronically inflamed. His sleep was poor. His microbiome was depleted. We first improved his baseline, reduced inflammation, optimized sleep, supported microbiome. Only when that was stable, he tried to quit again. This time, it worked. Not through more willpower, but through more system capacity. Here's the liberating truth. You didn't fail through weakness. Your system wasn't ready. Adaptation requires capacity. If that capacity isn't there, adaptation fails, regardless of your intentions. This is not an excuse for passivity. It's an invitation to strategy. Instead of trying harder, you can prepare smarter. Build the capacity first. Stabilize your baseline. Reduce the load on your system. Create space.